I want to make sure it's recording. So this is like a Chris Ray for YouTube channel. And sorry, I'm fixing the camera real quick. And today we'll be having my spiritual journey with God part 2. So as y'all know before, it was supposed to be posted yesterday at 3 o'clock, and a lot of things are going on yesterday. I don't know what's happening. My stream was supposed to post yesterday, didn't post till today. There's a lot of, I actually was supposed to post like 3-4 videos yesterday, but y'all gonna see that on the next video, or the video before this, if that posts. I'm gonna get my shit together, and yeah, but let me get straight into it. Before I do that, I'm gonna show y'all this book I got. It's in the living room. One second. Okay, it is called Rich Dad Poor Dad. I recently got this from Amazon. Started reading upon this. You can see it. I was gonna start learning how to invest, stuff like that. Wanted to turn my life around. Wanted to enjoy life instead of working. You know what I'm saying? To achieve happiness in life. It's not that I'm a lazy person. It's yeah. This book I will explain in my next video before part 3 tomorrow. But yes. So part 2. Let's go and start it. So last time I was talking about, my first instance with God when I was in the store, and I was hearing the audio and I fell to my knees and I was weakened. And this next part is something similar to that, except it was more dramatic. Not dramatic, traumatic. So I've been doing YouTube. I've been doing YouTube consistently. I was doing YouTube consistently. I was focusing on myself. I was isolating myself from people. Wasn't talking to a lot of people. Started meditating. Just focusing on myself. Really trying to help myself. Really trying to understand who I am. And I'm sorry, this camera angle, I don't know why it's just bothering me. There we go. Okay, that's better. And I was just full isolation mode, this is for me, this is a time for me, because y'all know I'm always trying to help people, but I've never helped myself. So I went to the extreme to help myself, and just didn't talk to people, didn't call people back. I don't feel bad for it, because it's like I need to work myself. I don't need to deal with other people's issues all the time like I've always been doing, and so I was working. It was May 26th, 2020. So I believe this was on a Wednesday. Yes, last Wednesday. And I was in the store. I was listening to the audio again, but this time instead of 1 to 2 minutes, it was I was listening to it for 1 to 2 hours, because I've been working on my spiritual muscle. And I was listening to the audio, and one of the stories was talking about, I believe it was Paul or Saul, and one of them were going into this kingdom, and they saw this fortune teller, this wicked woman who had an evil demon, an evil spirit inside of her. And Paul, he released that spirit, as he was saying, "Spirit be gone, in the name of Jesus I pray you cast out of this body." And the evil spirit left immediately. And I just thought that was so awesome, for God's power to do that to people, just to immediately like that, or even over time, to help people with their bad energy that they have been keeping inside of them all this time. And so immediately after the spirit was released from the woman, excuse me, after the evil spirit was released from the woman, she immediately started praying. And I think that was just amazing to me as well, for just somebody to change their life that fast, to go immediately to God. And then she ended up selling her books of witchcraft, which she's been keeping for over a decade. And now they said the books were supposed to be worth $1 million or more, just from books of evil. So I told you, like I said, not all money comes from a good place. Um, and so after that, I was like, okay, that's cool. I was like, man, I was really inspirational. And like that, I was like, wait, do I have any evil spirits inside of me? Any evil demons? And then like the question, it kind of like triggered my body a little bit. Like I felt a little shake, but I didn't physically feel it yet. But I felt it like spiritually inside of me. And it was like as if the evil spirits inside of me, which I didn't even know, were scared. Like, he's about to ask Jesus to release us. And so I asked the question again, and I was like, is there evil spirits inside of me? And I was posted because it's like I've been happy, as y'all see, I've been happy these last couple of videos. I've been having high energy, high vibration. Well, for me, high vibration for me, not the highest as I want it to be. But just like I've been enjoying life and having more happier thoughts. And so as soon as I was like, no, in a way, I was like, you know what? But there could be something that's hindering me from getting closer to Jesus. So I'm sorry, y'all. I just woke up and I just wanted to start on the video because, like I said, I'm trying to get my crap together. So and I'm trying to have this posted before 3 o'clock. I know I said 3 o'clock, but I wanna make it up to y'all. So so I did that, and I asked God, I was like, Jesus, can you, if there isn't any evil spirits inside me, may you release them? And immediately I fell on my knees again. And I was like, this is what it was last time. I was saying to myself, I was like, this is why I couldn't listen to the audio. Because those evil spirits, they were there. But my spiritual muscle was weak. So if my spiritual muscle was weak and I have evil spirits inside of me, oh yeah, of course I'm not even going to be able to last 10 seconds. But because my spiritual muscle was strong, but even though there was still evil demons inside, like I was fighting them, essentially, listening to the 2 hours of audio. But now that I'm releasing them, I don't have to fight anymore. So this eternal battle that was going inside of me, I can get closer to Jesus now. I can get closer to God. I can get closer to peace. So as I was on the floor, my body was shaking. And it was like the more it shook, it was like the closer I felt like I was going to have a seizure. And I was like, God, and I was puzzled because I was like, this can't be happening. I was like, I've been having these evil spirits inside of me for this many years. And it started junior year. For y'all who already know, I was just thinking it started all junior year when I started dating seriously. And before that, a little bit, I was just in a depressive state. And it's because, one, social media. 2, it was having people, I dated people who were always going through stuff. That's how the devil got me. He always sending people to me that he knew I would try to help and give all my effort and positive energy away to. Not that they didn't need it, but I was giving more than I was receiving in the spiritual sense. So, and also in the physical, because for me, as a guy, like most girls nowadays, they don't see me as attractive because I'm too nice or I'm too kind, which in a sense to me, I used to say it doesn't make sense, but I get it now. Like, people just rather have a hood nigga or somebody, like I said, who, I don't know, like they just, like some of them, like I would rather have an abusive boyfriend. And I've heard someone say this before, I'd rather have an abusive boyfriend than have a nigga who's kind and boring. They see people as kind and boring. They see people who treat women right are boring. They like the blood rush of having to escape somebody or having to be worried about, oh, if I get caught, if I'm cheating on them. They like that feeling. They like drama. They like drama. So, and that's what I'm not with. And I had had someone ask me recently, like, hey, like, you want to come live with me? And it was like, don't you have a boyfriend? She was like, yeah, but I don't think he'll care. Like that struck a nerve with me. Like if you was my girlfriend and you trying to live with another dude, like, and I know myself now, like, no, it's not going to go well. And I can restrain myself now, but if I was a little thought dog I was back then, like, no, I mean, I still would try to restrain myself because it's like, okay, I can go with this person for a minute, but like I said, I was a thought dog, and it was, like I said, that's when the evil demons spirits were at their highest, and that's why I've done so many stupid things along the past, and like, no, it would have been bad, and her boyfriend would have been over there trying to fight me, and I'm not gonna say that, I'm gonna win from a person I've never seen before, but I'm confident in my fighting abilities. That's all I'm gonna say. But I don't have to. I shouldn't feel like I have to fight somebody. You know what I'm saying? Plus, I shouldn't be fighting anyway. That's not God's way of dealing with things. And so, don't, like I said, I'm not gonna be a hypocrite and say I'm never gonna fight again. Like, I don't know when I'll have to fight, or when I have to protect my family, or when I have to protect myself. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna say like, oh, like I'm gonna become a perfect human being. Like, no, y'all know. And I've always said this, like, there's no such thing as a perfect Christian. No such thing. You are all born in sin. So being born in sin, which means you lie, which means you have sex before marriage, which means you say bad things, which means you, like I said, you just do stuff that is in the Ten Commandments. Anything in the Ten Commandments. Like, if you were born in that, you can't be perfect. It's hard to be perfect. You know what I'm saying? And so, sorry I got off topic, but I just wanted to speak on that. But I was making examples of, like I said, things to drama and stuff like that. But yeah, back to what I was saying. But it was, like I said, it all started junior year. Like, so when I started really being a people pleaser and, like I said, seeking people's attention and stuff like that. And that's why I contracted all those evil demons, evil spirits, because I was giving my Christian and positive energy away, and then I was receiving the negative demons that they haven't dealt with. And so essentially, I was attaining more and more and more and more and more evil energy and more negative energy. And that's where this depression, because depression is not real, it's only a figurative of your imagination. Now, that might hurt a couple people. Don't get me wrong. But the reason why I'm saying is because I'm born in a family with bipolar and bipolar depression and a whole bunch of other mental diseases that I believed that was going to take over my life. But when you get with God, He can cleanse all that. And not in the moment. I'm not gonna lie to you either. It's not gonna take 2 days, because as you can see, I was happy the other day, and how I'm chilled out today, but I was having anxiety. You know what I'm saying? Like, is the emotional part, the emotional journey with God, it doesn't take 2 seconds. So, but I am telling you, you can achieve eternal happiness on earth. You can achieve spiritual happiness on earth. You can, but you're gonna have to fight for it. And not a lot of people are willing to do that. And so, after I was done discussing all the stuff, where I got the demons from, I kept calling God's name. I kept saying, Jesus, release the demons. Jesus, release the demons. And on the 10th time, my eyes went to the back of my head, and I was, like I said, also on the 10th time, as my eyes were going to the back of the head, it was like this. I went to the back of my head, and and it was essentially, I was inhaling, but a spirit was exhaling out of my body, and people are like, how do you know it was a spirit? Well, I felt, and I mean, y'all can't feel what I felt, but essentially, I felt something leaving through my mouth, and it was like when one of them left my mouth, I felt like I was out of my body. Like something kind of like a natural high or a spiritual high, but like it wasn't there yet. So so essentially I was like, did the demon just leave my body? And it was astounding because I've never really believed in the spiritual sense. Like I never believed in the spiritual world like that before. I was like, okay, Jesus is real, you know, good energy, you know, all that stuff. And as I became closer to my spiritual self, I started seeing the evil demons. There's actually a lot of evil spirits in that store, and it wasn't just the ones inside me. So I was feeling terror from the other ones as well. And so I kept calling Jesus' name again. I said, my eyes rolled to the back of my head again. And another spirit leaves. And this time I was having a seizure after the second one. I was shaking on the floor like this with my eyes rolled to the back of my head. And no one was around. I was on the other side of the store, so nobody could help me but God himself. So, and hold on, make sure this is still recording. I don't know how much time I have left, but yes. And so I was on the other side of the store, and then I was having a seizure, and I thought I was going to die. And then I somehow got the words out of Jesus, and then the third one came out, and it lasted for like, I swear, 10 to 15 seconds straight, longer. And I was like this for 10 to 15 seconds, but having a seizure, 15 seconds feels like forever. I'm sorry, I thought about the sneeze. Bless me. And excuse me. And then after the third one release, God told me to stand up. I said, okay. Mind you, my knees are still weak. And I was like, God, help me. Like, is there any evil spirits left? He didn't respond. Now, I was scared about that. Because one, this is my first time even actually like spiritually talking to God. So not hearing a response from him, I was like, there's still some inside of me. And so I went to the bathroom. I was like, I need to fix myself. I need to try to finish this shit before I go home, because I wanted to go home after that. And I go to the mirror, and my face starts changing. I mean, immediately, my face starts changing. I'm looking into the mirror, and then my eyes go black. All this white around my cornea and the retina, all that stuff. I think I said the eye part's wrong, but all of it went black. Like I was possessed. And then my eyes changed back. Then my jaw starts forming. This guy has all these deformities. And I was like, yo, what's wrong with my face? I grabbed my face again and it stopped. And then on the third time I looked at the mirror, now this one gets a little creepy. So if you watch Harry Potter or anything like in the movies, and how people are like, oh yeah, I'm invisible, but like you see like the outline of the invisibility cloak or the invisibility body. You know what I'm saying? You see the outline of it, and so as I was looking in the mirror, I saw an outline of a face, and I saw the eyes, and I saw the nose and the mouth, and it was smiling at me. And I smacked the wall behind me. I was like, what is that? And I looked back at it again, and it was gone. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and walk out of here. So, I didn't walk, I ran. I ran out of the store, went out of the bathroom, not the store yet. And then I was like, let me try to finish this shift. And so I was doing a couple packages. I was doing things on the floor, stuff from the pallet. And I looked at this toy, and it was a pig, and it was all black, and it had red eyes. And I was like, why is this even a toy? Like, why would a dog want to play? And I was in the dog section. I was like, why would a dog want to play with this? And it was the evilest looking thing I've ever seen in my life. And so I was like, oh, like it gave me chills. And I was like, wait. But they felt like the same chills I had when I was dealing with the spirits. And I was like, nope, demon be gone. I said, you shall be released from this place in the name of Jesus. You shall get out of that toy. And it stayed there. It looked at me for a second. I said, get out in the name. I was getting angry. I was like, get out. And and it's singing crazy, but I was yelling at a toy. But demons can go inside a thing, they can go inside objects. And then after that, after I started yelling, I didn't feel the spiritual tension anymore. So I was like, okay, it must have left now. Mind you, I can't see these spirits, but I can feel them. And so after that, I was like, you know what, I need to leave. I told my manager, I was like, hey, Anthony, what do I need to do else? Because I don't feel good, I gotta leave. He was like, you gonna leave us like that? I was like, yes. So, like I said, what do I need to do before I can leave? And he said, just get everything off the floor. And then he came over, he saw the pals done, like, dang, you did all this? I was like, yes, I'm trying to leave. And I got everything off the floor like he asked me to. He's like, are you good to go? So I immediately left. I was running out the store. I was gone. I grabbed everything I did and I left out the store. And I got all the way to the car. And the moment I closed the car door, I immediately started bawling like that. I started crying. Like, because this was at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, so this is spiritual time. For people who don't know, this is where the spiritual pressure, the spiritual zone, this is where it becomes more alive. And this is where you connect more to it. And I was feeling the emotions of God and the things around me, and I was feeling everything, man. It was a terrifying experience. Not terrible, but it was a terrifying experience. And I was crying, and I was calling to God, and I was like, God, I'm sorry for all the things I've done. I feel stupid. Like, I should apologize to the people I've done stupid things to, and everybody. And then my body started shaking, and I was like, I shouldn't apologize. My body started trembling again. And I was like, I shouldn't apologize. It was like a little shake. It was like as if he said, yes, you shouldn't apologize to anybody. You should apologize to me. You should ask me for forgiveness. And that struck me. I was like, oh. I was like, I almost messed up again. And I was like, okay. But in my head, subconsciously, I was like, maybe I should just do it. And even in my head, thinking subconsciously, I started shaking again. And then I was like, you know what? Hey, God, you know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for everything I've done. I'm asking forgiveness. God, I'm sorry. God. And then when I said God, I said Jesus again. It was as if something was holding my throat. And I couldn't speak. And then everything stopped. So that's part 2. The power of God is really terrifying. I wouldn't want to play with it. I wouldn't want to question his real. I'm gonna make a new word. His realty. I wouldn't want to question his existence. I wouldn't question his doings, his works. You don't want to mess with that. Okay. Let me see if this is still recording, because this thing likes to. Okay, it's on 10%. Yep, time to post. But yes. I'm gonna let this video go for the phone dies. But guys, like, please, I'm gonna keep saying this over and over again. Get right with God. Get right with God, man. Don't play around. Stop holding off. I don't feel like reading the Bible today, or I don't feel like, I don't feel like talking with God. I don't feel like praying. Okay, you're gonna feel something else when you die off this earth. You're gonna feel something else when you pass away. It's not gonna be a good feeling. You're gonna feel something else when you're alone all the time and you feel lonely. You're gonna feel something else when you like I said, when you start getting depression. And you're gonna feel something else when I want to end my life. You're gonna feel something else. So would you rather feel that, or would you rather feel eternal peace with God? Like, God he gives us a choice when we get on this earth. He said you can separate from me. You can do things that I've placed upon this earth. You can worship the devil. He gives us that choice. Well, of course he's going to try to save us before we do that. But he's saying you can separate from me. You can do things upon. You can live how you want to live. But just know. But he tells us the bad effects from that. He said, what you going to go to hell. Or you can be with me in heaven, eternal peace, but you have to show me that you're willing to connect with me, willing to fight for my love. Because I fought for yours. And I sent my son down to die on the cross for you. So we have a responsibility to pay him back. We will never be good enough for God. That's why we'll die if you see him. So, but yeah, man. I'm getting scared this phone about to die. Okay, but yes. But y'all, get right with God and tell others about this story. And like I said, I'll post part 3 tomorrow. And thank y'all for watching this video. As I always say, man, for sure.